Hey, it's Jeremy from OpticHouse.com. So, I should give you warning right now. The drawing video that you are watching contains massive spoilers for issue 5 of Morningstar. In fact, these are probably the biggest spoilers of the entire series because in this issue, it takes a pretty massive turn. So, if you've been reading the comic and you don't want to know what's coming up in the next issue, this is probably not a good video for you to watch. Now, why would I show a drawing video that actually has big spoilers of the series? Well, I guess I didn't even really think about it when I recorded this. It's just the whole process of me recording the videos as I go is kind of like sort of a documentary filmmaker or an auto documentary point of view in terms of like I just feel like I'm cataloging what's going on the day to day of me making this comic and sharing that with you. So, if sharing that means spoiling some of the story, I mean, there's some people who definitely don't want to know what's coming next. I'm the type of person where I can read spoilers online and learn details about a movie, and it still doesn't affect or change anything for me. And I also feel like the big spoiler isn't necessarily something that will ruin where the story's going. I mean, it's about Lucifer's fall from heaven. He's going to fall. That's kind of the whole big point. All right, so the video jumped forward a little bit because I think I was working on these layouts at some point at home, and then some points I was working on them during my lunch breaks at work. So, there's little gaps here and there. I just, again, as I like to say, there's so many excuses to not get work done that I simply have to get them done when I can, where I can. It's also part of the reason why I've also started posting work in progress standalone images and really short videos on Instagram. Like, I think Instagram, the max is like a 15-second video. Because I realized for a while I was kind of bummed out that I couldn't record videos at work. It's just not convenient. I don't have my camera set up there. I've tried doing it before with a smaller tripod, but it's also a little bit invasive in my work environment in terms of being invasive into other people's space. Like, just it's weird to have a guy sitting there in the office recording shit. So I wasn't doing it. I wasn't recording videos at work. And if I'm not recording them at work, I found since I've gotten into documenting this whole process so much, I was like, well, maybe I'll wait till I get home to do these videos. And that's no good. Because the minute you have something where you're like, maybe I'll wait to do this, that's the kiss of death. You got to move forward with whatever time you can find. I mean, making comics is such a time-intensive, labor-intensive process that when you start doing it, you just have to be productive as you can whenever you can. This page that we're looking at here, we actually have Lucifer holding a massive throng of demons in his hands, tiny little demons. And this piece, somebody at work commented on it. He actually noticed, he's like, yeah, you're kind of doing a Galactus thing there. Because he's sitting there as this giant, towering figure with all these tiny little figures coming out of his hand. And I told him that oddly enough, I wasn't going for a Galactus vibe, but what I was going for was something that was inspired by John Byrne. Because, other than Jack Kirby, I think John Byrne's run on Fantastic Four is one of the most lauded. And most comic fans at some point go through a John Byrne phase. For most people, it's the X-Men stuff. For others, it's Fantastic Four, or he's done a lot of great runs on a lot of different comics. My favorite run and my first exposure to his work, oddly enough, was West Coast Avengers. And that might not necessarily be like the household name that you think of when you think of John Byrne's run, of his many great runs on comics. I still haven't read his Man of Steel run on DC Comics. It's another one that's on my to-read list. But for this piece, I was trying to do kind of a callback without directly aping. But there's a particular issue where Scarlet Witch, one of the phases where she kind of starts going crazy and turning evil, there's a page where there's a whole bunch of the Avengers sort of hanging off of her wrist, except her arm is upraised, kind of like above in victory. Whereas in this one, I've got Lucifer kind of looking down in disgust at these beasts that are kind of this throbbing mass of dark, demonic gristle kind of pulsing in his hand. So that's what I was going for in this piece. And it's interesting to me as I, look at these videos, how much of the process still comes out wrong, even though I do a lot of these detailed layouts. I mean, they're not super detailed. I've often told my friend Carl Altstetter, he's another comic creator, and I've looked at his layouts many times, like over the years of just knowing him and seeing him work on projects. And I always tell him, I'm like, shit, man, your layouts are tighter than my finished pencils and finished inks. He's just a very tight artist. His stuff looks very finished. With me, part of the reason why I have this whole thing where I've got first the red pencil layout and then flipping them and drawing it in graphite and then going back and inking it again is because even though I go through here and I feel like I try to work out the volumes and the proportions, the anatomy, the layouts and the environments, there's so many things that I see in each page that I'll come back and look at it later and I'm like, what was I thinking when I drew that? That doesn't feel realistic at all. Or it doesn't feel naturalistic. And on some of them, I try to look at it from the standpoint of move forward with the production, and even if it's not what was in my head, if it works on the page, just go with it. And not being able to nail what's in your head, it's a frustration that I think every creative person feels, every artist, and it's that death of 1,000 cuts where it's just you're dying inside because you're like, I just didn't get it. It's not what I was trying to do. It's kind of a tough love thing, but a lot of times I think to myself, well, I need to know that because that will force me. If I'm constantly aware of that feeling of not nailing it, that'll push me to try and nail it more, to get it closer and better. This isn't a pity party thing. It's not like, oh, woe's me, my art sucks. It's more sort of, and it's not that I think that my stuff is the shit either. It's more of learning how to push yourself to be better without beating yourself up for your shortcomings. You should always be aware of your shortcomings and be working towards improving them, overcoming them, learning how to do the things that you don't know how to do. But I also feel like it's extremely negative to just continue to brutalize and beat yourself up. Just putting yourself in a negative mind frame towards your work, it's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. You shouldn't hate this thing that you do. It should be something that you're passionate about, you love doing, you're thrilled with doing. And when you try it, you don't get it, it's like playing a fun video game and you have that level that you just can't beat. But you keep playing and you keep playing and eventually you beat it. And you move on to the next level and you have a bunch of more cool, crazy, exciting adventures. Then you get to another level that kicks your ass and drives you crazy. But that thrill of overcoming it feels so great. And having to work for it, having to work for that improvement is worthwhile. It's what makes it matter. It's what makes it worth it. And at a certain point, you just enjoy the struggle. That's why you play the game. That's it for now. Check out my website, optichouse.com. If you enjoy these videos, please share them. Also, sign up for my weekly newsletter to get a free digital download and see what else I'm working on. Go be creative.